All right, there is Tropical Storm Debby, just 45 miles south-southeast of the South Carolina coast. But because it's moving so slowly, it's going to take quite a few hours for it to actually come ashore. And that likely won't be until after midnight. Between now and then, still plenty of showers and storms rolling through the area. We do have a tornado watch technically in effect until 11 o'clock for Horry County, but it does appear that the best environmental conditions for a brief tornado or over southeastern North Carolina. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on the radar and watch for any rotating storms entering Horry County. But at this point in time, we don't see that at all. There is a tremendous amount of rain out there, though. A huge corridor, moderate to heavy rain from Hartsville to Kingstree, extending eastward across the PD and through Horry and Columbus counties. This is all heading westward, and during much of the day, the PD and the border belt did not see a whole lot of rainfall, but we are transitioning to most of the real heavy rain being across the PD and on the border belt, and more scattered downpours over Horry and Georgetown counties. Now, here's the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center when it comes to Debby. Again, it's slowly going to be moving northward as we head through the evening and coming ashore after midnight. And as it does move northward, it's actually pushing the heaviest of the rains to the north and west in time. Let me show you that on Futurecast here. And here we are at 7 o'clock with all the rain out there. Watch what happens as we head through midnight. Yes, there will be pockets of some heavy rain rolling in off the ocean, but the best chance of widespread showers and storms with heavy rain will be across the PD and on the border belt. We head through 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Still plenty of heavy rainfall out there, but once again, with a system moving more northward during the morning hours, the heaviest of the rain is going to move north and west of our area. And as we head through Thursday, there will be scattered showers and storms out there, not widespread showers and storms. Some of those could produce some heavy rainfall. By the time we get to the late afternoon hours, the center of low pressure is beginning to move north of our area, and just some remaining showers and storms out there, but nothing like we're going to see this evening and during the overnight hours. Then eventually that precipitation will begin to clear out late in the evening and overnight. Now, again, in terms of total rainfall, the highest rainfall totals once again shifting inland, an additional 4 to 7 inches of rain likely for parts of the PD and on the border belt here. Lower amounts along the Grand Strand, again, because that system is beginning to move to the north and west. Remember, ground is saturated in many areas. It doesn't take much to cause flooding. Flash flooding can be very, very serious. So if you get a flash flood warning, take it serious and stay indoors because of the extremely heavy rain that is moving through the area now. Yes, our rivers are going to rise. What you see here are the latest numbers. Most rivers are not in flood stage, but all of them are going to go in flood stage. The good news is none of these rivers, even the ones that get to major flood stage, are going to be anywhere near as high as what we saw with Hurricanes Matthew and Hurricane Florence. For example, the Waccamaw River, the record is 21.2 feet. We're 10 feet below that. That's the projection. So you've got no issues compared to these hurricanes. And you can see the other numbers here. Once again, we don't get anywhere close to these numbers as we head through the end of the week and the weekend. Let's talk about the wind. We've got winds gusting mainly in the 20s and 30s everywhere. As we head through the evening and the storm system gets closer to us, our winds will pick up, gusting 25 to 35 for many areas inland, even up near 40 in a few spots across the PD and on the border belt. For those of you along the Grand Strand, 35 to 45 mile per hour winds possible all evening and all night long, right on through tomorrow morning. It's even conceivable as the Debby comes ashore that we could have a gust up near 50 to 55 right on the beaches. That'll be the exception, not the rule. Thankfully, that's not really bad wind. So with saturated grounds, though, a couple of trees could come down and there might be some isolated power outages with some of those stronger gusts. But by and large, not a widespread damaging wind event, nor are we going to see damaging or widespread power outages. Not quite as much along the Grand Strand, roughly 2 to 4 inches up and down the beaches, with isolated amounts a little bit higher than that. But highest by far will be across the PD and on the border belt. Winds are gusting in the 20s and 30s right now. And here's the bottom line. The system will come ashore later on tonight. So as we head through the evening and the overnight hours, showers and storms likely, especially inland. Gusty winds perhaps as high as 45 miles per hour. That will be the case into the morning hours as well. Then things will improve. Coming up later on, an hour-by-hour look at Futurecast, and I'll show you when this entire storm is out of our hair.
And as Ed mentioned, that rainfall, it's been on and off all day in the Grand Strand.
ABC 15's Mike Owen has been up on the North Strand and joins us now from the Cherry Grove Pier with the conditions that you're seeing there now. Mike?
Well, Connor, the rain's back, and I can tell you this, it's been a tale of 2 days here, down here in North Myrtle Beach, down here at Cherry Grove. In the morning, people were jogging up and down Ocean Boulevard. People were trying to enjoy no rain here at the beach, and the rain came in around noon today, and the wind caused a sandstorm, kicked a lot of people off the beach. But the minute that rain stops, people come back out here. I've seen some people out here collecting seashells. I've seen all sorts of people out here going for walks, just kind of tired of being inside. But again, that rain comes in, the wind comes in. The wind's been pretty intense for most of the afternoon today, sending a lot of people inside. You can see a couple people going for a walk right now. It's just kind of how it is. It's the tale of 2 days here of people not wanting to be inside, but it is picking up, and the rain's been getting worse most of the day, and when it comes hard, and it's starting to pick up right now, and the beaches have kind of cleared off a little bit. Reporting live in Cherry Grove, I'm Mike Owen, ABC 15 News.
All right, thank you, Mike. Sandy Cooper was reporting power outages in the Cherry Grove area earlier today, but have restored service there. You can find a list of outages on WPDE.com. The rain from Tropical Storm Debby has also caused a few road closures today. ABC 15's Andrew James joining us now live from Myrtle Inlet. So, Andrew, what are you seeing there? Any more rain in the last 30 minutes or so?
No, Connor, no rain here. And to give you a sense of how calm it's been throughout most of Georgetown County, I took a quick look at the local observations that the National Weather Service have brought in for rainfall. We've seen about an inch of rain all day. That's about it for the Wachesaw area, Myrtle Inlet, this portion. It actually is a little bit less as you go further down into Polly's and Georgetown. We actually saw the sun earlier in Georgetown today. Very minimal impacts. But as you can see behind me, as I'll move out of frame here, this is all it takes. Just roughly an inch or so, and you see residential roads like this on Causey closed off. This is Causey Road off of Wachesaw. Wachesaw is a way more heavily traveled road just off of 17 bypass in Myrtle Inlet. This road right here, areas like this, as I move back into frame, are what the county are paying close attention to, the residential spots that are really poor with drainage, as rain bands could pick back up later today. They're keeping an eye on places like this, and as are we. For now, live in Myrtle Inlet, Andrew James, ABC 15 News.
Andrew, thank you. We want to head inland now to ABC 15's Tanya Brown. She has been out in Florence County all afternoon. What are you seeing there, Tanya?
Jennifer, the rain continues to come down pretty hard. It let up about an hour ago, but it's been steady since then, and the winds are picking up. I talked with several first responders about 10 minutes ago, and they tell me there are trees down across Florence County. At one point, there was even a tree down across Interstate 95. Sorry about that. Crews with South Carolina Department of Transportation are working to clear the roads and clear the trees from the roads, but they're asking that you not drive on them if at all possible. They're asking that you use alternative routes. Now, I just talked with someone with the game warden with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, and he says that they're really concerned about the river levels, including Lynch's River, where I'm standing now. Right now, it is at 8 feet high. Flood stage is 14 feet high, but it could rise as high as 16 feet. They're urging those who live around this river to be cautious and to evacuate if at all possible. For now, live in Florence County, Tanya Brown, ABC 15 News.
All right, Tanya, thank you. Now meteorologist Jenna Warner joins us with a closer look at those updated river levels.
Well, the good news is prior to Debbie's arrival, our area rivers were sitting near normal heights, but right now we're seeing at least 2 rivers in action flood stage as of Wednesday midday, and 1 river, specifically the Black Creek at Quinby, at minor flood stage. Now, almost all of our area rivers are forecast to reach moderate to major flood stages, specifically looking at the Little PD River at Gallivant's Ferry and the Lumber River at Lumberton, likely to reach major flood stage both Monday and Friday respectively. So let's break down the Little PD River as we head into the weekend. We'll see river levels slowly rising into minor flood stage by Thursday into Friday, moderate flood stage Saturday and Sunday, and then finally that major flood stage on into Monday. It'll stay high before falling next week. The Lumber River at Lumberton expected to see major flood stage stage as soon as Thursday, falling a little bit but remaining in major flood stage Friday, and then dropping into the moderate category but heading that way and staying in the moderate category through at least the beginning of next week. And many of us in the Conway area wondering about the Waccamaw River. The Waccamaw River is likely to reach moderate flood stage, and that could be as soon as Friday, reaching a flood stage of 12.3 feet on Friday and then slowly dropping, but not by much, heading into the weekend. Now, these area river forecasts are subject to change a little bit in the coming days. We will keep you updated.
Now, one of the storm chasers that we work with is Brett Adair with Live Storms Media. He's staging in Myrtle Beach and shot this video just a few hours ago. You can see Benjamin's Seafood close because of the storm. We're also seeing those gusty winds getting stronger throughout the day, and the ocean is pretty rough out there with a high rip current risk. And of course, no one should be in the water at this point in the storm. Marlboro County officials have finalized a temporary fix, at least, for the main breach at Lake Paul Wallace Dam on Country Club Drive. We've been talking about this for months now. This is certainly important as heavy rains from Debby are falling there.
Leaders say contractors are helping to stabilize the first breach that happened in May, and they're waiting for the storm to pass to continue working on a permanent solution.
City Administrator William Simon says today the Department of Natural Resources partnering with contractors to remove concrete walls in order to try and control water flow. The dam breached for a second time last month on Beauty Spot Road, but officials say the water there is able to flow freely under the road. Crews have also focused on cutting overgrown vegetation near power lines and collaborating with the State Department of Transportation to help restore the lake to its original condition. How long that'll take and who will pay for it, that's still unknown. Officials want to assure the public that crews are working to stay on top of it.
I am praying that it work, because I can tell you with the many people that it's going to affect, I can't help but hope that that is going to be just a temporary fix, and soon that they would have this taken care of. But I really believe that the work that they have done is in place, and it's going to be a great help for our community for right now.
Leaders say even with the temporary fix in place, the precautions for those near the dam are the same as anyone else in low-lying communities. Stay alert, be prepared, and look to local leaders for guidance.
And in Colleton County, Fire and Rescue pushed out an alert that McGrady Dam had the potential to fail, and although it did overflow onto the roadway, the spillway did work and the dam has not yet overflown.
Now, Colleton Fire and Rescue continue to monitor areas, especially around the Edisto River and Ireland Creek, and that's where we find Justin Berker. Justin, what's going on out there now?
Yeah, guys, we're at the Ireland Creek. Just take a look behind me. You can see that it's blown its banks. It is crossing into this local grocery store parking lot. At portions of there, it is above foot high in the parking lot. But 20 minutes southeast, that's where we spent our day down on Kavanaugh Road. Crosby's Pond blew 2 of its dikes. At times, water rising 2 feet on the road nearby.
The pond that once was. The emergency overflow was going as hard as it could go, and I quickly realized that we had too much water coming in and not enough going out. So I feared it was going to blow that dike out, and within 30 minutes of me seeing it for the first time, we didn't have a lower pond anymore.
For a decade, Ian Padgett's been raising Black Angus cattle and other livestock on this Colleton County property.
Of course, the pond structure was here when we first moved out here.
The lower portion of Crosby's Pond, normally 20 feet deep, gone in the blink of an eye. That's when the upper side started cresting over the other dike.
Once the lower dike blew out, when it was compromised, it drained this entire side of the pond in probably 10 minutes.
Nearly 20 acres of water flowing into Black Creek and then Salkehatchie Swamp, snapping trees, sounding off like gunshots.
The sound, the force, it was uprooting trees. Those are messages that we try to tell people is the water is dangerous. Don't walk through floodwaters, don't drive through floodwaters. You know, again, 6 inches can float a car.
Padgett's Drive gone.
Not going to be our main entrance for a little while now.
But
fortunately, nobody got hurt. You know, I live here with my 2 teenage boys, and we were all good. We just messed with a lot of water yesterday.
Padgett tells us 2 of his neighbors had similar dike failures. For Padgett, it'll cost us 6 figures and a whole lot of clay to repair this. The work begins when the weather dries out. Live in Colleton County, I'm Justin Berger.
In Boston, about 24 dogs from South Carolina were rescued from animal shelters ahead of Tropical Storm Debby.
Reporter Todd Kiskevich with our ABC affiliate in Boston has the story.
Do you want to get them out? Do you want us to get them out?
Just before dawn, 24 dogs from South Carolina arrive at MSPCA Angel Northeast Animal Shelter in Salem. These dogs are moving to Massachusetts to free up space in shelters in the South ahead of Tropical Storm Debby.
We got a call on Monday night about 6:00 p.m. and said, can you leave for 8? And I was at Walmart with my daughter, school supply shopping, and I was like, we got to go. Okay, come on.
We were really excited to be able to take in some pets ahead of the storm, so that opens up some kennels at Charleston so they can be more prepared to respond to any sort of animals.
Chelsea Corville and Chelsea Lepresto say they do animal transports regularly, but this mission had special urgency. They drove through the night from Louisiana to South Carolina before arriving safely in Salem, where these dogs have a new shot at life.
They have better chances for adoption and different programs up here. They benefit a lot better from it than we do in the South.
The dogs range from 5 months to 3 years old.
They will be on a 48-hour quarantine that's mandated by the state of Massachusetts for out-of-state transports. After that time, they'll be checked by our vet team, and then after all that happens, they'll be ready for adoption.
And it is certainly wonderful to see our neighbors to the north helping out there. There are, by the way, a few shelters open now in the PD. So if you're a Florence resident and you need shelter from Tropical Storm Debby, you can head to Lake City High School or South Florence Freshman Academy. That's on Old Southside High School. Now, if you're in Marion, you can head to the Shannon Wilkerson Gym and A.C. Tollison Gym, Palmetto Middle School, Southfield Center, and Highway 76 Animal Hospital for pets and owners there. Now, keep in mind, your animals must be in cages. You must have your pets' food and supplies. And at this point, they're asking that you keep it to 2 pets per family.